I think we're now on the sort of growth trajectory back again after sort of seeing a cyclical downturn for the last 3 or 4 years. The industry has been slow. Many things which sort of augur well for the industry. I think one of the big game changers is going to be the new e-visas, which the government has done, and I think that's really an exciting development. And I think we've just sort of started, and now I think the more countries going to be added, especially those countries from where we get a lot of arrivals. That's going to be a large game changer. I understand already 30,000 visas have been issued, and so that's one. The second part, I think, is that this is one of the only times that I remember in the last 30 years that I've been in the industry where the Prime Minister repeatedly talks about tourism. And therefore, I tend to believe that this is something close to his heart, which has lacked in the earlier leadership because of India being such a large nation and the other pressing problems that we've had over the last several years as a sort of developing nation, that tourism never got its sort of mind share. So I think what's really good that's happened is that the mind share has happened, and now therefore the mind share will now convert into stuff and deeds that will the various ministries and the government will start initiating. So there's great hope in that happening. The third thing is that a lot of supply came in to the industry starting from about 2007, 2008, and that sort of supply has now almost got absorbed, and we're not likely to see the same amount of supply or the percentage of supply coming into the market over the next few years. And demand will therefore outstrip supply, and we will see the ADRs which have sort of been stagnant or have dropped now going up again, and better returns for the industry. I think these are some of the sort of key things that I see happening over the next couple of years. Plus, I think one other huge development is the setting up of the REITs. I think the government has now almost finalized all the legal aspects of that, and in the IITs, which is the infrastructure REITs for where hospitality gets covered, we're going to be able to raise cheaper capital, which is very good for the industry. So I see going forward the industry sort of doing well, and the next 5 years is going to be a major upswing. I'm not very concerned about meeting that target, which we will. I think what we haven't been able to do in 50 years post-independence, we've grown the inventory over the last maybe 8-10 years. We've doubled our hospitality inventory, so I'm not concerned. I think that will continue to happen, and in markets which are buoyant and dynamic, we will continue to see more rooms coming in. I think the concern is to be able to fill those rooms. That's more important, and I'm seeing a better cycle, or I think personally that we are at the beginning of the upside. I'm a great believer of domestic travel. I think while international travel is great for the country for 2 or 3 big reasons. One, of course, is the large foreign exchange earnings which come into the kitty, which every nation needs. The second thing is the image of the country gets developed when more and more people come and see the country, feel it, experience it, and they talk about it. But domestic tourism, we are the world's largest domestic tourism ability and the size of domestic tourism. That's where the real thrust is going to be, and as the economy is growing, disposable incomes are getting better, lifestyles are improving. Everyone is exposed to the internet, everyone's exposed to travel, it's become easier. So domestic travel is going to be the real fulcrum of growth.